everybody, and welcome to Girl It's Agree to Disagree. I am your girl and host, Jay Milagros, with my co host, Big Brother Drew, Mr. Bright and White. And we apologize again because, well, we have Fisher Price Wi Fi, and and we are waiting for our fourth, who is Kemi, but she is going to be hopping on hopefully in the next 5 minutes. We decided to just go on anyway. Before we start, make sure you click like, subscribe, click to receive notifications so that you know when we're on. Typically, we try to do every Thursday, but it's been 2 weeks, y'all. We haven't been on. We haven't recapped in 2 weeks, and I feel like I miss you all so very much. So very much. And we came back for like just in the nick of time, like the best, probably the best time to come back is with this big ass triple eviction. Well, first of all, I have to say, Bray, did this meet your expectations of what a triple eviction should look like?
I mean, it was very chaotic. I mean, it's not what I wanted to happen, but I mean, hey, they got rid of Marty, who's a huge competitor. I mean, I guess Summer was a threat, you know? So, I mean, it makes sense for them. But I was shocked to see these noms. Besides Marty, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
She was a threat, not the threat. Right?
That part.
So that's the part. She wasn't the threat. And I think that, hey, look, it was impressive. I'm going to say that it was impressive, y'all. If I act a certain way, it's because I'm completely and utterly shooketh to my coreth.
I was floored.
On the floor, I had to surgically remove or reattach my jaw once it dropped from the floor. So that's why it took us so long to get on live, because I was still stitching myself up. You know, and I was just like, whoa, where do we come first? I'm gonna give a big shout out to my boy Hamza, who was completely wrong with his take on what was gonna happen. Who here and in the chat was able to first of all, was on this Twitter space with almost 500 people waiting 20 minutes so that Hamza could get off the phone so that they could tell him who like won and who got evicted, and then told everybody who was getting evicted, posted it on Twitter, and was utterly wrong. Well, he was 50%.
Hamza out here wasting your time, guys. Come on now. Let's do better.
Hamza said make his pockets hurt 2022.
Don't believe Hamza.
Waste his time 2022.
Yes, yeah. And look, I was a fool too because I was on that space.
Oh,
but you know what?
Just you two, no wonder.
Wait, no. What I want to say though is I was on the space, but while he was like waiting, while people were talking, I was washing dishes. I was cooking. I was getting my stuff done. I like spaces because I can just have the phone in my pocket and listen, and I can just it's like a podcast. You're right. So a very completely incorrect podcast, but hey, like,
yeah, I was listening for a minute, and then it was taking a little too long, and I was like, you know what, I'll just read the tweets in an hour and a half when they emerge.
Yeah, I want to know who's out for Hamza. If Hamza was playing BBCAN,
not Hamza being
again, and he got this misinformation, he probably his mouth would have been open wide, just like JC Lynn today. So we'll go in because he also said that Gino and JC Lynn both knew that it wasn't going to be a blind side because they knew what was happening. And I don't know. Did it look like JC Lynn was surprised? Because I mean, she looked like she was pretty shook to me.
I think maybe she was. I think maybe, you know, when you always have like a gut feeling it's gonna happen, but maybe she was like, no, I mean, I'm just gonna hope, I'm gonna send good vibes that, you know, it's just not gonna happen, and then when it happens, she was like, Wow, they really ratted
Four
me
to one
out.
is rough though. Like when there's four people and you're the one person that it might have been actually a real actual like, realization for her.
That's hard when you're always like, oh, I'm at the bottom of the house. Like I really, it's everyone else and it's me. That's hard. And now like your number one is going at the house.
Especially
Well,
when, I mean, that's been her number one for, I mean, the whole game. It's not like, okay, day 20 and they leave, which is
yeah,
even hard. It's hard too. But yeah, I mean, they have one more week or 2 weeks left
two
to
weeks.
this
Yeah.
game. 2 weeks left. So
What did you guys think of Gino's pitch to Helena and Kevin? There was one scene,
I
where they're kind of speaking in the room, and he kind of
oh
laid
yeah.
out to them like how things were gonna go. What did you like that last minute effort there?
I mean, I love someone who's gonna fight for themselves to stay. I just think that it was just falling on deaf ears. You know, like he was assuming that they really were just a five versus everyone else. When realistically, baby, if they're gonna turn on you, they're gonna make sure that they're covered for next week. They're not just gonna blindly be like, let's cut Gino and then let's just figure it out.
shout out to Scotty. He says Hamza pre-juror for life. Yeah.
Oh, Scotty's shout out to Scotty. He's been like rewatching all of these old episodes of Big Brother Canada on
Oh,
Paramount. So he's doing his research, going back, finding new things to bring up old triggering memories for people. So salute to Scotty for doing that.
Scotty's chaotic, and you know what? Now that I know Scotty outside of Big Brother, I enjoy him. Enjoy his takes. He does a lot of hot takes. He loves to get a good reaction out of people. I saw him yesterday. To Scotty.
bang bang.
It's so funny. Oh my god.
Wait, were you guys shocked at all that Gino left, or was it what you were assuming? Because I fully was assuming it because I think ever since the chain of safety, I think they've kind of been like, I don't know if getting Jess was the right thing. Like I think we were all kind of emotional and we really should have got Gino out. So I think that now that he was there again, they were like, we can't fumble it a second time. This is it.
No.
Gino's a huge target. Everyone knows that.
Fully.
And that the gummy bear. We have the gummy bear
gate.
pull. I think that kind of worked too well out for Marty, and he kind of knew. He's like, well, I'm not giving this getting this out of the way, so I got to jump on this. And bye Gino. Tough.
Gino's going to be
is what it is.
traumatized by gummy bears for the rest of his life.
Can we talk about the magnitude of like the little things that are big things that never leave once you leave the show?
Yes. That's one of them. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, the gummy bear. Oh my God,
Okay.
Gino. I just have one question. The gummy bear.
So the question though is, now I pose this question: is Gummy Bear Gate more or less impressive than Judson not using the veto on himself last year?
Less impressive. I'm sorry. I was there and I was shocked. The gummy bear would have been like, okay. But someone actively not saving themselves, I was gooped.
Yeah, I agree with Braden 1,000%. That's a tough one. You got to hold that there for a long time. So.
But they both are very very sweet-hearted people. Because even in Gino's little exit speech, he was like, "I just really wanted to show the five that I was really loyal to them," and I mean, look where it got me. And I was like, sorry,
you know
Gino,
what?
you're too
It's
sweet.
like it is that's exactly how I felt. It was just like, damn for being too nice. Like, damn for being too nice.
Nice guys always finish last, full-heartedly. That is my life motto. So.
Hey, you might not be wrong with that take.
Yeah, I mean, as Josh said, this makes no sense. This is completely illogical. What's going on? Like, but we could be saying the same thing about your triple HOH, Josh, because this is not This is not what I was expecting.
Where are
Let's
the
get to it.
votes?
Like I know. Let's try to kind of dig a little bit deeper into what just happened, because we start this triple eviction with, obviously, well, Marty is HOH. Betty had just won the veto. Like, props
Hmm.
to Betty, because that veto, that was a pretty hard veto. And like,
Yeah.
and but she he puts, obviously, the original people on the block were Josh and Betty. Betty wins the veto. She takes herself off. And Gummy Bear Gate happens, and Marty puts Gino up on the block. At first, I really thought that like Marty was in on this. Like sometimes like we watch live feeds,
Yeah.
and we hear people say things, but then you hear in the diary room during the episodes that maybe they weren't thinking that way, or maybe they were thinking
Yeah,
this way.
exactly.
And in this case, yeah.
No, he was fully like,
Marty was
Gino
fully
was
on
gonna
board.
stay.
Gino. So Gino, I love.
Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad,
Do
Jess.
you like my
Not bad. Not
my
bad.
Marty accent? But Gino. Yeah, and he puts Gino on the block, and thinking that he really does have these votes,
Yeah,
right?
it's just too risky for me, but
I know. And then Marty says,
props to him.
well, I know it's a risk, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I feel like
Yeah.
these risks people take, they don't realize the magnitude of what it does to their own game. Simply, oh, let me just see what this, it's not a direct threat to me, but, if it happens, whatever happens, like, I don't know. But
Yeah. There's also there's safer risks to take. Like everything's a risk in that house, but I mean putting up Kevin is a risk, but it's a safer risk than Gino going home.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wait, you think that at this point of the game you have 3 weeks left, that nobody's going to target a Showmance, that
That's what I'm
nobody's going to take
saying.
a shot. I'm sorry, is this Big Brother
But okay.
21? I have no idea. Like, maybe it is.
there wasn't a loving showmance moment, no? It didn't, like usually when the showmance leaves, there's like a big kiss goodbye, and I didn't see that. There's a little
It
moment.
was it was just JC saying I hate all these people.
Well, you know what? That's a common thing. That's a common thing in the house, because like I'm pretty sure I said I hate all these people when I left. I don't know if
It
that's
was
true,
I'm so
but
sorry, but I hate all
uh
these people.
it's,
Don't
yeah,
trust
that's
no
just a
one.
common thing.
No
That's just,
kiss, no goodbye. I'll see you. There's not a moment. It was like, yeah, fuck these people.
He
Yeah.
said, "Summer, I'll see you in 20."
that's common. That's like the way summer left is basically, you see Marty. I think Marty like hugged everybody and was just like so
Oh, he was
calm,
very kumbaya.
because he knew he deserved this. He knew that
He knew he's the biggest target.
he just knew. But Summer was like, no, I'm already at the door. I ain't hugging
No,
nobody.
she was like, "I ain't gonna hug no one, but Miss Betty. Betty, I hope you win. You got my jury vote. Bye. The rest of y'all, peace."
This is just, I'm still processing this whole Josh situation. So let's figure
Okay,
this
so
out, right?
Gino gets evicted.
Gino gets evicted. Josh wins HOH. If everybody's happy, I feel like everybody's happy. I feel like for the most part, who you're thinking to go is exactly that. Oh wow, JC, he puts up
Yeah,
JC
Marty,
Lynn,
JC.
he puts Marty, and then he puts up Summer. And
Gag.
this is, yes, gagged, because where we have like anybody in the chats, and y'all can stop me if I'm wrong, like Josh was so cush in each and every, like he was just about
He really
as
should have
cush
thrown this
as
one, to
Kevin.
be honest.
Yeah, he was just as cush as Kevin was.
Mhm.
Except that in this triple eviction, he got rid of his players versus Kevin's, which I'm like shook. It just made absolutely zero sense to me why he decided he wanted to put Summer up and not put Helena up, who would have been a better option because he would not have shown his cards
Yep.
to Betty, because him
Mhm.
putting up Summer at this point is like, Betty's kind of like,
Red
what
flag,
the
red
hell's going
flag,
on?
red
This is a
flag.
red flag, right? He could have put Helena up because nobody knew that he was even in cahoots with Helena,
Exactly. And
right?
it would have been it could have covered his trail.
And then JC Lynn could have, like, she won the veto, took herself off. Then he could have put up Summer because he had no other choice. Or at that point, it still would have been bad because people would have thought he was going to put up Kevin, right?
Mm.
But
I
um
just think he shouldn't have won. I don't think anyone would have really voted him out. Or at least
no.
tried to win the veto.
Had Marty, well, no, let's get real, like, Marty, everybody had to win it. I feel like if Marty, well, Marty wasn't, but I feel like if JC Lynn, oh no, you're right, anybody who
I
would
just
have
don't think,
won.
like, he might have gone on the block, but I don't think he would have gone home.
Yeah,
Because he would have had Betty and Summer voting for him no matter what.
unless Betty and Summer. Oh
Betty
no,
ain't
you're
gonna
right.
flip. Betty was never gonna flip
Betty,
on that man.
wasn't a target, and that's why Betty was so upset, because she knew he was, and I think that's where you see these real, like, reactions from people,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way that Summer was ever going to target Josh. You know what I
Same
mean?
with Betty. Yeah,
So,
Betty
and
was
Betty
like,
as well. So it's like, what's going on? So, Josh definitely not only lost, Summer's vote. I think even realistically, he's like, now, well, I'm gonna vote if I do get in that situation. I'm going to vote alongside what Summer would do with Betty there. So we'll see what happens.
And here is Josh is Kevin's puppet. Look, at this point,
Disrespectful, but maybe some truth to it.
at this point, I feel like maybe everybody is Kevin's puppet. Like, again, I came in the first recap. I told y'all he wasn't gonna manipulate not even a finger. And look me eating my words right up. He is killing the season. Like, nobody, and literally as soon as they find out what is up, they're gone. Marty's
yeah,
gone. JC, I mean, at this point, JC Lynn is the only person left that is like, okay,
Kevin's
she
a little
would
rat.
have,
Yeah.
yeah. Now she figured it out. Okay, Kevin, Kevin and Helena. Um, but it's just one of those things where I'm just like, wow, I really can't believe that Kevin was the one that Josh decided was going to be his number one.
Yeah, especially over Betty.
Over Betty. Over
That's what I was
Betty.
like,
And we know
wow.
what a
Okay.
loyal Betty be, like,
That's what I'm
loyal.
saying. Betty reminds me very much of like an Ozza game where she's like, I'm very straightforward. If I rock with you, I rock with you, and I don't sway, I don't move. You're my person. And so for him to be like, psych, I'm here with Kevin, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I see it.
it goes to show, like, the amount of work or that Summer and Betty were doing or tried to do to get Josh, like,
Mm-hmm.
to make Josh safe. What did we
Literally.
feel? I know, right? So JC Lynn wins this. I really wasn't expecting. I really was not
Listen,
expecting
when I saw her
this.
get those two in, I was like, okay, so Hamza has to be wrong, because I was like, unless Summer's gonna pull it out right here.
Not us watching the whole thing. Like, no, Hamza said that.
I was like, what? I was like,
Absolutely
Jason's
not.
gonna win, and I
This
was
is
like,
not. It's.
I was like,
I was here thinking. I was like, oh no. Hamza said that JC Lynn was out, so she must, like, have this one ball left, but she's gonna rock it, and all the balls are gonna fall. Totally. That's what's gonna happen.
no, she won.
No. Nope.
Womp womp.
Listen, JC Lynn really does know how to win when she needs to.
Oh my gosh. Nakami says she's gonna hop on in 5 minutes and it's been 20. I don't she's ridiculous. But anyway, she's been having major technical difficulties for people. That's why we were a little late. But yes, so he ended up putting up Summer as well, put up Summer in the 3. Summer What did we think about Summer's blow up? Like
Listen,
when
I
she
said
called his
under
ass
her.
out.
She gathered that man like a ponytail. She snatched his edges and she was like, "So Joshua, when you said you were gonna put me up when I asked you, you lied." And he was like, "No, I just." And she's like, "No, you lied to me. So you're a liar." And I was like, I was like, "This is so bold of you right before the veto too." But listen, she keeps it 100.
I mean, at this point, she's not giving two fucks. She's just like, this is it. This is it. Like I done. Which it's very interesting seeing Summer play, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
she tells it how it is, but at the same time tells everybody like the same thing, but she can't promise anybody anything. So you will really look at when you look at her game, she never made anybody feel like they're number
Any type of
one.
way,
In
yeah.
in my opinion, once Tanisha left, that was done. She was like, I ain't making nobody else my number one. I'm just trying to,
True.
play the field. And it becomes really hard because she couldn't tell people, I'm going to, yes, I'm going to vote your way, and then lie.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't tell. She couldn't even make promises on the block that she would work with a particular person. She would just say, I would be open to listen to you. I'll be open to this, but she never promised
Yeah.
anybody not one thing. Not
I
even to
feel like
Betty.
I feel like not in like a rude way, but I do feel like what happened to Summer when Tanisha left is something that I was worried is what happened to me when Austin left, is that I was like, oh, like I don't know, how am I gonna be able to navigate this? Like this is the one person I can find everything with. Like now I have no one. Like everyone else is either duoed up or trioed up, or they all have somebody, and I have no one. And I
Yeah.
know that that can be very isolating. And I think that that may have been a little overwhelming for Summer. And like Arista even said, like since Tanisha left, like we kind of like saw the spark kind of die in your eyes a little bit until you got saved from Canada, and then this fire awoke within you. But yeah, I agree. Since Tanisha's been gone, I feel like Summer's just kind of been a little lost.
Yeah, it's made me a little sad because I also
Mm-hmm.
know what it's like to kind of lose your number one, because I lost mine right after my HOH, and that
Mm-hmm.
was like kind of like my melting point as well, and it kind of just like
It's
went
hard.
down. You kind of go downhill when you lose your
Yeah.
first one. I mean, we all know, right, Drew? Like it's so hard to confide in people, Braden, right? To confide in people as is, and you're in that house knowing that other people are telling your business. So when you find that one ride or die,
Mm-hmm.
that would use a veto on you with no questions asked, or you think would have your back in a certain situation, uh, the loss of that is like, damn. Now,
BB fan in the comments saying that there was a meltdown on the Summer's Twitter or TikTok interview. I haven't seen it, but if you guys
oh,
want
that
to
was
check
the
that out,
live.
yeah. So you should.
They don't save those, do they? But they put them up.
No, I
They
think
put
she
them
was
up.
just she was a little teary eyed.
Meltdown is a strong word, BB fan, and we should be careful of the language we use sometimes. But no, people are allowed to be emotional. People are allowed to show
It's
emotion.
hard.
You know what I mean? It's a real game, and these relationships are real. So you guys might think that people are just playing a game for money, but when you have that much time together to have conversations, to share real stories of of pain and love and everything all between, you feel a type of way when you see your people get
Yeah, it's
disrespected like
hard.
that. So
Absolutely. I mean, but here's the thing as well. It's kind of weird, and I see it here because someone had asked, wait, is Josh the ideal goat since it seems he burned some jury votes? And for those, I don't know what you consider a goat, because in some people, so for some people it's greatest of all time, but I know that in survivor speak, a goat is just someone that you
I
just
think that's what they mean.
throw
Yeah.
to the end, which I know is what you probably mean. um at Look, we've been very, I think Braden and I had talked about a little bit about Braden's not Braden's Josh's game, in terms of like, what is he thinking,
Mhm.
like how are you, a couple weeks ago we were like, how are you gonna try hard to win this veto and not use it to prove
Yeah.
loyalty, you know, or like you should just throw it. Like these, like I think maybe the strategic sense in, you know, and of course, like I like, again, I'm gonna preface by saying that I really do enjoy this whole cast. Like there's
Yeah.
not one person that I'm gonna say that I cannot stand. Um and so, but and that being said, so I'm going to say about Josh is like I don't know what was going on up here in terms of like whether he was really
Strategically.
strategically in setting himself up. Like I think he's definitely is playing more of a Kevin's game. Like he's just looking to Kevin to create the strategy and work the things out, and so he's just going that route. That he's playing Kevin's game. He's playing either for second or third, you know, at most. And maybe that he just didn't want to think about this. Maybe he doesn't see himself in first, because there's no way in hell that you could go about doing what you just did and expect any jury votes. Like he's not even at this point. You should, everybody should be really thinking about where people's votes are going,
Yeah,
where
it's
their
the end
votes are
game now.
going.
Now it's like,
It's ending.
who do I want to, sit next to? Who's most likely going to vote for who? So I mean, I think it's easy for us to say, because again, we're navigating from like an omnipotent view. So yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
maybe from our view, Josh does seem like a goat to bring. But I mean, he could still win out at this point, which is still impressive. You know, he could say I had to cut allies when I needed to. And I mean, hey, I trusted Kevin and it got me here to this final 2 seats, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think the people in the house. Oh, am I still there? Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think the people in the house um, necessarily see Josh as a goat.
I've been watching
I think the people.
the. Sorry,
No,
bro.
you go, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think jury management is definitely one thing that people often overlook. But I've noticed that Kevin is doing a really good job with these goodbye messages. You know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of just exposing and showing all of his cards, almost like telling people that, hey, before you get to jury, here's what you need to know, and even
Yeah.
apologizing for that. So I think there's definitely a skill to kind of just say, hey, this is what happened. My apologies for that. You know, hopefully you can respect it as gameplay. So we'll see. Josh is not, you know, and maybe he's not getting the benefit of the doubt with these goodbye messages too, because that's always
Mm.
something that I've always like. I didn't see him as much as the Marty comment. You know what I mean? So I think that's also
Yeah.
a production strategic play as well to maybe block sort of messages or opportunities for that.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
This is very
But yeah, I don't.
interesting to see. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brayden.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, no, I don't think that at this moment, at least, that the house guests will see Josh as a goat. I think they still are very under the impression that everyone really loves Josh.
Oh, absolutely.
Besides maybe some, you know.
Do we think that Summer may just need a couple days, a couple weeks to, you know, to kind of like simmer down and maybe potentially give Josh her vote?
No, not at all. And I think that when you leave with that sort of energy, you're not gonna get that opportunity or that sort of redemption or apology until much later on when you're already out the house and say, hey, this is why I screwed you when it came to the vote. So I think people are very petty, and Summer doesn't. I'm not saying Summer's petty, but if it walks like a duck, it might be one. So
No, I mean she's called herself petty.
exactly,
She's
and that's why I'm not trying to label people, and who knows. Maybe after a couple glasses of wine in the jury house, should we calm down and be like, you know what, maybe I was bugging, or maybe it's good gameplay, but
Uh,
I don't expect that to come anytime soon.
I mean, it would be very, I guess, quote unquote, mature of her to let bygones be bygones. But if it was me, no, I don't care if you give me 3 months in the jury house. No, you're not getting my vote. No,
I
it's
don't
never
know.
gonna
I mean,
happen.
I wasn't. I tried not to be a petty a petty bitter juror, and it does become very hard at some point, because not only do you know um so much personally about these individuals. And mind you, like for us, we know more than what even y'all see in like, on live feeds, because we're in HOH lockdown. We're on lockdowns with these people. And when you're on lockdown, you can't talk game. All you do is talk about your personal life. And usually it's about the personal life that you don't want aired on TV, like, so you're really kind of getting a little bit more. We're like, oh, we're on lockdown. This ain't going to be aired. So let's start talking about craziest moments. And this is the craziest you've done. And this is what, you learn a lot more about the people. And then like think about it. There is no rule to what makes a person vote for a Big Brother winner, right? There's no rules. So it's basically based on your style of gameplay. Like, who do you think personally is a perfect person to win this game? Like, if they constantly, lied and you're like, nah, that person was manipulative, then they're like, I'm never going to give them my vote. Whereas other people were like, that's part of the game and he did it flawlessly, and then that's why they should win the game, So it's really hard, sides, right? There's kind of both ways. So how do we think right now with the people that are left? Can anybody win this?
Before we get to that, shout out to Sylvia Marsh giving that $20.
Yeah,
in the chat too. Big up to you.
Look at you, Sylvia. Thank you so much for your super sticker. We appreciate you so much. She knew that we have Fisher Price Wi-Fi. And she said, here's some money for you poor people right here.
Damn.
And use it for a better service provider. That's what she said. No, I'm just kidding. We'll give
it to Kemi to get some better.
I know.
A new microphone.
We'll give it to Kemi because she's just, oh man, oh yeah. But yeah, so we have now. Yeah, so whose game is this? Because right now it's wait. Shall we? I'm sure that people may or may not know.
Spoiler alert.
So we're just going to put this little disclaimer for the spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything that's going on right now or what we've been hearing about, then maybe it's time for y'all to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the new HOH. Brayden, do you want to do this? Oh, I think Brayden is, as we're talking about Fisher Price Wi-Fi.
Going to Brayden now. Brayden's getting the $20, Sylvia. Shout out to Brayden. Looking amazing. Glowing, too, by the way.
I love how he's just like...
Well, Brayden, we'll keep you out of suspense any longer.
Yes,
the new HOH this week. Betty. Very true. Very true. Shout outs to Betty. You know what I mean? We're going to be seeing, obviously, an HOH video of her and her lovely family. Some photos, diverse photos. Brayden's back. What up to Brayden?
Embarrassing for me. I have the Fisher Price Wi-Fi.
It seriously, it froze on such a very flattering picture of you.
Thank God. That's all I was thinking of the whole time. I was like, not me in my Kemi era. It's like, damn.
Yeah, so you didn't miss anything, Brayden. We were trying to have you announce it, but obviously you were kind of frozen. So we just told everybody
who the HOH is.
That the HOH is Business B.
Period. I love to see it. Betty making the Final Four makes sense with my fantasy.
And winning, looking good.
I think someone was saying that
was it Jamar? Because Jamar's been shooting shots left and right.
Girl.
Oh no!
What is this true? Jamar said that she looked good. Yeah, he said Betty looking good.
He had made some comments about her backside on Twitter. He did. This is information, y'all. You can go.
But yeah, I think someone was saying that Betty's the first Black HOH woman since
Amazing.
BBCAN 2, BBCAN 4.
Who's that?
Wait, who was
Brittany?
4? Because 2 was Ica.
But Ika was never HOH. Let me see. I think I like the tweet.
Is it
What?
Brittany?
What do you mean? But you don't consider that an HOH?
Ika was HOH?
Ica was
Oh.
HOH, yes.
My
Absolutely.
bad. Wait, maybe it's BBCAN 4?
No. 3. Oh no. That was Vito.
Someone said since La Vida on BBCAN 4.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
That Betty is the first. Or not the first, but the most recent, yeah, since
The most
BBCAN
recent.
4. That's crazy. That's 6 seasons.
That is. I love that for her.
Shout out to Levita too, by the way.
So let's talk a little bit about this, right? Because like we said, Josh with this, in my opinion, respectfully.
Oh yeah, Victoria in season 9. What are people talking about?
Yeah, that was amazing HOH.
Oh my God! Not your season. Not you not remembering your season. What?
Listen, it was a blackout for me. Thank you, Nick. Nick, you were a real one. Yeah, Victoria really is the confused.
Braden said that he's still in therapy and he was actually just blocked that season completely out of his mind. That's what he
I blocked
said.
it
It happens. I get it, man. I get it.
Listen, her second HOH had me traumatized, so I blocked it out. I pretend like it didn't happen.
I cannot. No, yes. Well, okay. I want to know who said this about the.
I ain't gonna expose them.
Okay.
Can we talk about Arissa's dress, guys? We didn't speak about her outfit tonight. Obviously, she knew it'd be a triple. So the dress matched the iconic triple eviction. Braden, I'll start with you since Jess is sipping tea. Still sipping,
Listen,
Jess.
I love the color blue. I think, out of past outfits, I definitely like this one.
It was like a purple romper, or like was I misled with that one?
I don't think it was was it? Did it have legs?
I thought
it was a dress.
I thought it was a dress.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But also, I haven't been paying attention to Arissa's outfits as closely as I used to in the BB house. I remember I was like, guys, she wore this and she had this on, and then there was also 4 rhinestones on the right side, and also she had this.
I mean,
Arissa always looks lovely.
She does.
She's always serving.
She can really do no wrong, except the fact that she's just had so many outfits, amazing outfits in her, in the past, that I am waiting for her to just keep doing it up, like up in whatever she had on last time. And she hasn't done that for me yet.
Okay.
The outfits are good. I'm just saying that I want to see like a spectacular one. But hey, I'm glad that she didn't have last week's outfit on. Because
was that the yellow, orange, and blue? Yellow, red? Brown, and blue. Sorry.
Was it brown?
Oh.
Or was it red?
Blue.
It was. I know it was blue and white, but there was like some type of red or brown in the mix.
Am I thinking of the wrong week?
No, you have it, but I don't know the color. That's why I was the extra stripe.
It's brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was either brown or orange or red, but it was just like so not a good looking color.
Finale is only 2 weeks away, guys, so let's expect a wonderful finale and outfit to knock us off.
I really do. Yes, I mean, like I'm hopeful. I want to see this finale dress. I'm hoping. But this is this girl that, what's her name? That dresses her.
Lisa Williams.
Yeah. So Let's hope Lisa pulls it in. You know, doesn't make her look like a loofah or anything.
Shout out to Mel who does the
Okay.
makeup too. By the way, I don't know if Mel did everyone's makeup, but she did mine. I still follow her on Instagram too. Lovely lady.
Aww. So okay,
Makeup
so now
artist.
we
That's
have
nice.
Gotta have a few. You know,
right.
this. You know, I'm trying to pick up a few tips myself. You know.
Yeah, right. So we have JC Lynn still in for this week.
Yes.
When Gino left, uh no, when Summer left, she
It was Gino, I think.
looked, was it Gino? Yes, when Gino left, she said we need to talk. Like she was gagged, right? It looked like
Oh no,
JC
it was
Lynn.
Summer. You're right. I think you're right. It's Summer. I thought you were saying something else. I think you're right.
Yeah. Was it?
It was
Was it
after,
when
yeah, it was
Yeah.
after Summer and Marty left, where she was like, "Mr. Josh, we're gonna need to talk."
Yeah.
so right now I'm assuming everybody's under the assumption. No, actually let me not even go there. Who do we think is going up?
With a Betty
Well,
With
HOH.
a Betty HOH, we have JC Lynn, we have Kevin, we have Helena, and we have Josh left in the game. Congratulations to them for the final
sure, Final
five.
Five. That's so exciting.
Congrats also to Helena because she still has not made it on
Hit
the
the block.
block. And like let me tell you, because I also don't think that this is goat behavior either if people are saying, oh, they're just taking her. Because I feel like when you're a goat, like you have to at least have put them on the block. Like they're expendable. They're,
Yeah.
usually goats are just like kind of you just have them on, the block, but you never vote them out because you're just gonna drag them because they have no power. But when you look
Hmm.
at it in this case, it has been both Kevin and Helena that have made like these wins together, even though obviously Kevin has been in behind the scenes has been a lot more active
No,
in
I
this
agree.
case, right? But if Kevin was to leave, I'm sure that he would be
Oh,
giving Helena
he,
all of the credit.
she has the biggest cheerleader in jury once if Kevin leaves.
They're
Yeah.
saying in the chat that Betty has already said that it will be JC Lynn and Josh that are going up on the block.
And that is also
I
something
mean,
that we were going to
it's
say.
early. It's early. I need Betty to, if she wants to, have longevity in this game.
Hmm.
She needs to, think about. I think probably out of anyone that's left, I think that JC may be the only one to take her to final two.
Yeah. It does not make sense. And of course, we're going to be talking about like this. I agree with you, Brayden. I think that is way too early. I think that this is definitely
Yes.
an emotional decision. Like she is still in shock, just like the rest of
Mm-hmm.
us, of what just happened. And she definitely doesn't even have all of the information that we have. I think that she's just right now thinking, holy shit, what just happened? And Josh is not really on
My writing with me, yeah.
on my side. He's not writing with me. And he made, but here's the thing. This is what does not make sense. Betty, listen. Listen, Betty, listen. You gotta listen. Why would you put up Josh next to JC Lynn when Josh did not put up Helena or Kevin?
Kevin.
Make it make sense, girl. Make it make sense.
Yeah, and the thing too with week 9 is that everyone plays in the veto, so it's not even like, oh well, I'll try to backdoor Kevin or I'll try to backdoor Helena. Baby, everyone's playing. You're playing. So put the people up that you want to go home, and if one of them comes down, just put a replacement.
It doesn't make sense. She's like let's look at the history here. Betty at one point beginning of the season says, I hate you, Kevin. No, like play. No, I do hate you. I do hate you. She has her first in power, does not put him up because now, well, she loves him. Summer and Summer and Betty talk about how they cannot trust Helena in this game. You know, Helena's always a we can't trust her, we can't trust her, we can't trust her. She's not on the block.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, everybody voted. Well, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, someone's saying that
said,
apparently she says Kevin and Helena have voted for her to stay every time she's been on the block. I mean, I guess, but that doesn't really matter at this point, I don't think, anymore.
I mean, what are the possible scenarios? Like, you don't, like, JC Lynn has 0 people. Like,
that's what I'm saying. She has no
got
one.
blindsided. Exactly. She just got blindsided, you know, just about as much as she got blindsided by Josh, apparently, you know, Betty just got blindsided by Josh. So she's feeling alone. It would be JC. It would be JC Lynn. It would make sense to go to JC Lynn.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that Kevin and Helena are probably doing a lot of work on her, but I just think that at this point, like, this is where my head was at least. I was like, it doesn't really matter who has, you know, been an ally for me at this point. That's important, obviously. But I need to think about, how do I win this game? Mm-hmm. Do I win myself with aligning myself with a trio because they voted for me to stay every week? Because to me, that doesn't make the most sense. Obviously, you could hope that maybe they want to implode and I'll be lucky enough to be the one that they want to take with them.
Yeah.
But why not? If you have the ability, why not try to stack the odds in your favor?
Exactly. This is a complete and total emotional, it's a very emotional play. I think it like would just strategically make sense if you're like, this is a tight 3. Like, yeah. Josh just put these
everyone
2
else,
other people, everybody else but them 2.
Everyone else in the house but them.
And you are gonna have your HOH and not get rid of a 3. No, regardless of whatever it may be. And it's not like, and it's not Josh. Like, I know maybe her target would be Josh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe at this point she probably just doesn't care. Yo, you know, after a while, you just don't care anymore in that house.
It could be that as well, where she's like, honestly, if I get one of them out, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, like, I hate all 4 of them. Like, anybody can go. I'm gonna pick the 2 that I can't stand the most right now. And sure. and see it, you know, and see if it changes.
And that's the thing, you got to see if it does change, because we keep talking 2 now, and then, you know, someone comes off and like, you know what, well, maybe this is the best move, so let's put 2 up there. Totally. Let's see what happens, and, you know, let me maybe come to my emotional decision after the competition.
Yeah, that, and that's, you know, and Madison, our girl Madison,
what up, Madison?
Maddie, says, but will Betty realize they're a trio though? And
I think you have to. I don't know. Like, I don't really know how else they're gonna spin it. Like, unless they're gonna be like, we just had a 1 week deal with Josh for the triple, and then besides that, like, we're coming after him. Josh sobbed when you're about to leave, Kevin. You're telling me you're not working with him?
I mean, I could see
very telling
how maybe Josh had spin the fact that he knew that Helena and Kevin knew that she was going on the block, and that they swore that they would keep her because they said they would never want to vote anybody else out, or, you know, wanted the votes to make sure that who he wanted to stay would stay.
It's just too risky to me still. It's too risky. If you put me on the block, you're okay with me going home.
Yeah.
That's just the end all be all about it. I don't care whatever we had the votes to secure it. That's great. But you're okay with me potentially going home. So I know where I stand with you. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But if I win HOH, your ass is going to sit on the block.
Oh, let's put up Anonymous is here. It says, Helena told Betty that Summer and JC Lynn made a pact to be each other's number ones. And that Summer had a final 2 with Marty since week 3, and that's why Summer had to go.
Okay, but then why wasn't this brought to Betty earlier in case she won the triple?
People will say whatever after the fact, and that's essentially, how
You
you
know what I
kind of,
mean?
yeah, you're absolutely right, Barry.
I would have been like, okay, if that's true, then why didn't you guys tell me? Because I also would have targeted Summer then. So why only now are you telling me, now that you saved me, that I should be so gracious? Why are you now, being like, oh, they had this final three deal and this and that, and that's why we had to get rid of Summer.
This is wild, yo. I can't even logically think anymore because I don't think that this whole season has not really made much sense in like in like strategically, other than obviously Kevin doing an amazing job at just making sure there was chaos at all times.
Oh,
Which,
fully.
look, I'm gonna be very like I'm gonna take out all of the like the BS personal things that are happening
Hmm.
between all of this. Like it transcend, like what I'm about to say, like is not about like the race bullshit that's happening or anything that's going
Yeah.
on between other people. When you look at Kevin's game, I I'm sorry, it's gonna be a hot take, but I'm gonna say he's one of the best Big Brother Canada players that I have seen. I'm
That's a hot take.
sorry. It is a very hot take. I and like and this has nothing like I don't know the personal shit that if he has said. I know that there's a lot
Yeah.
of racial tensions and back and forth with what is going on. Um but I haven't seen gameplay like this in a long time, you know. Um and it's not so much like of a Derek, Big Brother.
Are we forgetting that Anthony played Big Brother Canada as well, and gets the King Finesse title, and people have forgotten that he finessed his way all the way to Final Two, and then no one wanted to give him credit for the
So
moves that
this
he
is
made. Listen, that's
this
just
is
one.
my
That's just
question as
that's
well.
just one with that. It was, Braden can also speak to his
Oh,
subtle gameplay, being able to
Gummy.
manipulate from a distance. Hey, just conversations, guys, because we are not even at Final Two, and Jessica is jumping out the window saying these hot takes. What? How much wine have you had?
Man,
Are you still
Drew,
drunk from Wendell's party days
I
ago? What's
actually
going on here? Listen,
Wait,
Actually, it
I
wasn't even 24 hours ago. And yes, I am still hungover. However, thank you
hey,
for
I'm just,
blasting that
hey,
out.
just
but
saying.
wait.
I said could be. I didn't say is. First of all, I said could
Okay.
be, could potentially
She said,
be.
listen to the specifics. Um,
Specifically, I
but my
said,
only my only question is, so I know this was like a thing in my house as well, where I'm sure everyone's house is, where you can have your own personal opinion, but it really doesn't matter because it really matters on what the jury thinks.
mhm.
So do you guys think though that the jury thinks that Kevin is this mastermind, or are they just like, Kevin's this goofy guy, I can't believe he's so lucky that he just keeps skating by? Or do you think that they're actually going to realize like, no, Kevin isn't BSing us. Like if he makes it a final two, like he's not just talking out of his ass.
Well, they did say that Herman did warn them of Kevin, and of course Gino said on his way out that, hey, Kevin is running the game, or manipulating people. So hey, there might be some truth to that as well.
Okay,
But you guys do know that, and Brady, you just said it. Jury really does determine who wins to get that
fully.
crown. So it's like, you might not like the person or whatever, but will you respect them enough to give them that nod? Probably
True.
not.
Th-
Well, at this
that's what I'm
Probably
point,
not.
wondering.
Probably
so
not.
at this point, let's talk about this because Kevin is literally the only one who has actually had the jury in mind and has been very detailed in his goodbye messages on what he has done on a game level to get them out. He basically has manipulated and like used everybody's HOH. Like very much of a, I want to say even like close to like a Paris game in a way. Like it's like very with the kind of that floater mentality, but not really like not exactly that way because he has
Yeah.
really had uh I mean whatever he has said has happened. Like he has been able to turn water into wine. Like seriously. Not me comparing him to Jesus. No, that's not true. And to go back and to go, I'm being very dramatic right now. Drew, and to your point, yes, Anthony played an amazing game. I am
I'm just
not
saying.
going to
I'm just naming
I am
one
not
of
going
many
to say
wonderful
that.
players that played the game
Um
that have been
how
able to.
yeah. However, he had a whole Pretty Boys alliance that he was with, whereas Kevin has literally only had Helena and has made all of these, like, everything happen without like a team of,
That's true. That's
four
fair.
other
That's fair.
guys, and of course, no disrespect to Anthony, because I think he's an amazing player, an amazing man as well. um he didn't know anything about Big Brother. Like he didn't really know what he was doing. He was using his finesse as Poutine Poppy to get what he needed to get to. Like, let's get really real. Like Kevin was like the biggest, like nobody was looking at Kevin as any type of threat in whatever way, shape, or form. With anything, if anything, people were looking at Anthony. Anthony's a big dude. Like he was looked, even though he didn't win comps. Like obviously he was not trying to win comps. um I guess it was just very different. I think that that's just a different conversation. We would be here for, we could like dissect those games and really get down to the nitty gritty
No,
of
that's
that.
fair.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand your take. I just think Drew was trying to
Just
play devil's
just
advocate.
devil's
He is.
advocate and pokes hole.
Oh,
I've seen a lot of
absolutely.
people jumping on Kevin's eggplant this week on social media. I saw, of course, production inserting this mastermind edit. So let's see. Let's call it for what it is. Because there seems to be like everyone is a goat, everyone's iconic, everyone's amazing. But there's still a lot of game to be played, so let's just see how these chips fall, guys. Because
True. That's what I'm saying.
if Helena's
Can pull it out.
Helena has not been nominated, and to me, that is obviously a big sign of like, hey, I was a threat. I was there all seasons, but for some reason, y'all felt like, for whatever reason, I was not, worthy of sitting on the block. So I think there's power in that as well. So
Yeah, no, I think if Helena could stay off the block this week, win the final four, not go on the block, and then win the final HOH and maybe cut Kevin, I see her winning.
I do. Well, so we do know that Betty is going to be final four. So B is there. And I think if B stays, she has a good chance to also win. I think
Oh, I
she would
agree
get,
fully.
she would definitely get, Summer's vote. She could definitely get Herman's vote.
No, fully. I think something too that Herman said when he left, when he was talking to Rissa, is he did say that somehow Summer has a lot of affluence and a lot of influence on these house guests, even though she's not winning anything. And I think that still carries over to the jury. So I think if Summer is pushing hard for Betty to win and is like, listen, this girl's had her back against the wall. She's always rode with us. Look, she's winning when she needs to. And now she's in those final two chairs. Like, how can you not vote for her?
Yeah.
I fully think.
However, I don't
see
see, but to that point, I also don't see Betty making a final two.
But you think someone
Unless
always cuts her?
with the decisions that she is now
currently making.
Like if she puts JC Lynn and Josh on the block, she
And
will
none stay the same.
not. I cannot see a path for her into a final two. It just doesn't make sense, because once it's on 4 and Josh stays.
But do you think he'll stay though? Because I know that Kevin and Helena have been like, we need to get Josh out.
Here's the thing. The thing is like, let's look at this. There's 4 people, right? She's going to put up 2 of them, and there's 2 people that are going to be voting. So
Mhm.
if she puts JC Lynn and Josh on the block, if Josh wins veto, takes him
Oh well,
off,
yeah.
then they put up, either Kevin or Helena. Josh and whoever's left is going to vote out JC Lynn. Then there's going to be 3+1. That's going to be
I'm just
that's
saying if noms stay the same, I don't necessarily think it's 100% that Josh stays.
they will. They will get
You
rid of
think?
JC Lynn. Yes. They will get
I
rid of
don't
JC
know.
Lynn.
I
I
think
think
I
I
they
don't
think
will.
people
know.
are now seeing Josh for a competitor, especially after
Mm-hmm.
winning that HOH, and maybe that Girls Alliance is something that could possibly come together. I think and remove him from the game, and then it just be if they locked in all women now, not a bad final three going in there, right?
Um,
True.
I I just think that Kevin would not let go of
I think he would.
Josh. I don't think when
He
you
doesn't
talk
have
about,
that, but he doesn't have that many more opportunities. Next
Yeah,
week's Final Four.
yeah. He's got to get him. He's got to get him out. That's
but
the
he
It's
that's the
also
either
has to be in a place where he would get picked if he doesn't win. If he doesn't win to get taken to finale.
but I don't think anyone sees Kevin as a threat in this game. I think if it's Kevin with majority of anyone, I think most people will just think to take Kevin.
he
What do we
hasn't.
think?
Yeah, no.
Do people here in the chat think that Kevin will cut Josh? Because I see, okay. So Deshaun says, yeah, Kevin will cut Josh. Are there people over here that would also agree? So I guess I'm the only person that thinks that they would not.
Kevin will do anything to win. I think that's the one thing we should
True.
expect from
And
Kevin.
that's my whole
that
thing.
game.
I think Kevin, I agree with Anonymous, and I think Kevin knows Josh would take him to the end, so he'd keep him for that reason.
But I think they don't think that the jury's still mad at him. I think they just think Summer's mad at him. And they're like, Herman was buddy-buddy with him. Gino loves him. Moose loves him. If JC Lynn, I'm sure JC Lynn loves Josh. Betty will vote for Josh. Like, I
Shout out
don't
to
think they
Zoya saying,
realize.
yeah, Zoya saying Kevin. There's no way Kevin doesn't win. Kevin's setting himself for a pretty good end game, regardless of who's
Oh,
Absolutely.
fully.
left. So
Absolutely. He had jury. He's probably just completely thought this in his mind the whole time. He's sitting right now with a
Oh, it's
5.
everything he wanted.
Unless JC Lynn does something wild and just like throws out Kevin's like dirty laundry, but I don't even think that there is anything that she could hold on to, because she probably hasn't been paying attention because she's been with Gino.
I mean, she almost won that HOH. So I mean, she's been paying attention
yeah,
to
she's
something.
close. Yeah, she's close.
We will say again, like I said, I don't have anything against anybody. We did say that I gotta keep on saying these disclaimers. I like tell you, Drew, because I get messages, I get DMs like after these shows, like, why are you against so and so person? Why are you against so and so person? And it's like, I'm not for nor against. Like, yo, I'm probably gonna meet each and every one of these individuals come 2 weeks from now when I'm in Canada to see my beautiful people over here. Like, I am perfectly fine as individuals with these, as individuals. Like, what I'm talking about is gameplay. And I will say, yes, and Brayden and I have talked about it too. Like, we think, well, let me not talk for Brayden. Like, let me not throw out Brayden's laundry out there. I'm going to say that JC Lynn is, like, I've seen her to be a true competitor. Like, she has pulled out when she's needed to, the vetoes, and like, she has that drive to win. She is a competition, like, she can win competitions, and she really has thought in some cases very strategically. But there is to say that being in a romance clouds your judgment, and it also isolates you from what is really going on in the rest of the house, because sometimes, and there's so many boring moments that you just feel those boring moments cuddling and being around that one person and not know what the hell is going on in the outskirts, right? So um I'm excited to see a JC Lynn without Gino. That being said, I'm really
Sure.
excited because I feel like this is her day one. Like, I feel like she just got into the house, you know, like, hey, I'm coming in, and like now I'm meeting people and trying to, like, you know, do something. And hopefully she will, you know, hopefully she will make some connections with, in this case, I really hope that she gets through to Betty, that she's able
Same.
to work something out with Betty. But back week, I don't know, week 3, when she's trying to, you know, do a women's alliance type of thing with, you know, with Betty, it just like they just haven't been able to mesh. You know,
Yeah,
they've been trying for a while.
I just think that JC Lynn really needs to lay it on hard to Betty that I am your best chance at winning and you are my best chance at winning. Like, no one else here is going to take each other but us.
Yeah.
Like, do you
Yeah.
think Kevin's going to take you? No. Do you think Josh is going to take you? Clearly not. He's put you on the block. Do you think Helena's going to take you? No. Like, it really is just me and you.
Yeah. And just for those who are in the comments, yes, he can cut Josh this week because he has a vote. So yes, he can cut Josh. Since
I think
Josh will
that
be on the block, he
I
can
do
vote him
think,
out, and that would be like cutting
with
them.
what you're saying, that I do think it is a little risky for Kevin because he does know that Josh will take him no matter what. I think he's still very worried about, because he knows that he's the villain of the season. And when you're the villain versus the quote unquote house fave, that's very scary, no matter how well of a game you played, especially with a jury, because you don't know how they're going to think, you know? So that's the only reason why I could see him being like, you know what, maybe Josh does have to go this week. Just because the final 4 doesn't really matter. If Josh is HOH, he's making final HOH, and they've seen he places second or third in almost every comp. So
yeah, at this point, you know what, you're right. Like, he could totally cut
steamroll.
Josh, because at this point his number 1 is Helena, right?
Yeah.
So no matter what his take or what he can tell the jury is, I apologize, like, I did not need to be loyal to not any one of you, because my number 1 was always Helena to the very end, and that's who I was loyal to. And that shows a little bit of that loyalty that people would be like, okay, it's like he did have it in him, it just wasn't
Fully.
it just
And I
wasn't
think
for
that
me.
in Kevin's best interest, JC would come down, Helena would go up. That way she's been on the block, and he can still vote out Josh. Or, you know what, makes it a tie, and Betty casts the solo vote.
Yeah. It would, yeah, because it basically will be that. Like, if JC Lynn is able to get the veto, then put Helena up, one can vote one way, like, right? Because JC Lynn, I don't know. Would JC
I don't think
Lynn
she would tie it, but I think that's like a perfect scenario for Kevin. That way he gets no blood on his hands, and he gets to keep Josh, and he gets to keep Helena. You know?
Where he ties it up and makes Betty decide.
Yeah.
That's also a big risk.
Very big risk, but I think, I think best case scenario for sure for Kevin is if Helena touches the block this week, and then if anything, he can vote out Josh with JC. Because again, regardless, he has an ally that's going to take him to the end in his mind. He has Helena that's going to take him to the end. He has Josh that's going to take him to the end.
Shit, at this point, I think Betty would take him to the end.
And he automatically, most likely, will get a jury vote for whoever leaves. Josh leaves, he has his jury vote. Helena leaves, he has her jury vote.
Yeah.
Kevin's sitting good. Kevin's chilling, as long as he doesn't go on the block.
You, Drew? What were your...
We didn't talk about the Herman Jury and Moose link up in
Oh, how
guys.
did
You
we
know what I
forget
mean? And I was
about
like, I
that?
had that on my notes. I was like, okay, I don't want to let this one go before we get back
Thank
to you
you.
know what I
Thank you
mean.
for saying that. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. What did you all think?
No, it was lovely, lovely time. Those two gentlemen connecting in jury. Too happy
The
to
little
see each
cuties.
other though. No,
A little.
Mm,
It was like an
like,
instant, like, oh, but then like, that's my boy! And it was like, damn, at least be a little sad I'm here.
it's no, it's oh yeah, it's always kind of like a
It's
ah, but
bittersweet.
yay! Because here's the thing, like when you're in jury, like if you didn't win, you really don't care who the hell else wins, right? Like you're just like whatever. You okay? That's your boy, or whatever, and you're kind of like, damn, because he did say it. He said, "Damn, he's out." But yay, because I get to be with my boy in jury. Like nobody wants. He would have been like,
Fully.
yes, Marty, but then he would have been like, oh fuck, now I have to be with this guy for the next week, and that sucks. It sucks when you're in jury with people that you can't stand.
What do you think they're
And
gonna think about the triple and like who comes next? Like, do you think they're all gonna be super happy that they get to see Marty, Gino, and Summer?
hmm.
I expect a little romantic late night romp when Summer gets in that jury. Is that too much to say? But from what I saw in the feeds, she's been talking about Herman's body, body, body. Want to
Oh
get up in that
yeah.
body, body, body. So
Here's the
now the
thing.
cameras are off. The
Oh my
bunk
God, Summer's
beds.
in there with all those men. I forgot about that. Poor her.
I
Poor,
don't know
poor,
if that's for her. I mean, she also
what
got
happens
Gino
in
up in
jury
there.
stays in jury.
I told Braden, I was like, if I was JC Lynn, I probably wouldn't have like voted evicted Summer to be in the jury house with my man Gino. But it is what it is. I mean, not only did Gino just say he was a lover boy, but like, tell me, you know, yeah, she's like, tell me something I don't know about you. I'm a lover boy. What? I don't even know what that means. Like, what are you? What does that even mean?
We gonna find out though. We gonna find out.
I will be. It'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be wild. So there's 2 more weeks left until the BB finale. We're so excited. So before anybody asks, I'm saying that we will be on next week Thursday to recap, as it will be our last recap of the season, because by finale, all of us are going to be together, but we're not going to be recapping for you. Sorry, not sorry. I'm headed to Toronto. I'm super excited because I will be with all my lovely, lovely Canadians. Maybe they'll adopt me. Maybe I'll apply for dual citizenship. I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe I'll meet Arissa. Maybe she'll ask me to be a part of, like, a Big Brother, US versus Canada season. I'm not sure.
Manifest that.
You know? And I'm like really excited about us. But next week, I'm super, super excited because who wants to know who is going to be our guest co host for next week?
I'm listening.
Who's it gonna be?
The one, the only BB Can 10 house guest, Miss
Okay,
Tanisha.
Queen.
Okay,
Mm-hmm,
I thought you were
mm-hmm.
about to say Arista Cox herself.
I
I was
wish.
like,
I wish I could. I
I was
should
like,
have.
damn.
Oh.
That
Like,
$20 really go into the
yes.
booking fee.
Yes. So I said, okay. She couldn't make it this week, which would have been a perfect week. Obviously, her girl Summer, just left. So, but what I'm excited about is that, like, now she's able. Like, we need to take into consideration. Tanisha Like she just got out of the Big Brother house. A lot of, the housemates are still kind of acclimating back to like real life. They're still watching people that they know on TV. They probably just found out a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't think even happened in the house.
True.
So, but Miss Tanisha, she's actually been watching and she's been tweeting live during these episodes,
Oui.
and we do know that she is big for Summer and that she's big for Betty. So for next week on Betty's HOH to have Miss Tanisha co-host with us will be Chef's Kiss. It's going to be a great one. So make sure you let everybody know. So
Can't
before you
wait.
do that, click like and subscribe. Click to receive those notifications so that you know when we are on. It will be probably Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, as it usually is. But make sure you click and share
Perfect.
and let people know, right?
Yeah, and thank
So,
you everyone for joining us.
Great time, guys.
yes.
Appreciate y'all.
We love you all so much. Thank you for being with us, and we will see you